Time for some Halloween recommendations. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Zach with Zacks Books, and welcome back to Zocktober. This is probably going to be an earlier video. I'm not 100% sure. Probably will be. Don't know. But pretty much the theme for this one is going to be Halloween themed books. Books that are based on Halloween. They've got Halloween in it, in the title, or what have you. I have got 6 that I have read that I'm going to talk about, and I believe I've got 4 that I have not read, but would recommend because they are Halloween based. We will have all, was it 9? 10? We'll have all 10, 9, I can't count, listed down below if you want to check them out. Also down below is the podcast, all that fun stuff down there, Danielle's channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into some spooky books. Alright, first book is Halloween Fiend by C.V. Hunt. So, cover looks stunning, and so does the back. This book is about we're following the perspective of a man who is in this town where this entity known as Halloween resides, and I mean it's a short book, so I'm not gonna be able to talk about a whole lot about this because I'm remembering it as I'm talking about it, and I gave this 5 stars. I read this last October. Pretty much what happens is every day in the town you have to make a live offering to this entity, but like a small fur, like a rabbit, a guinea pig, or gerbil, whatever. I think this guy's got like a bunch of like hamsters or something like that. But then there's one day where it is called All Hallows Eve, and what gets me with this is the ending. I can't spoil what All Hallows Eve is, but if I can recall, it's like very bad. Like I think it's like a human sacrifice, if I remember correctly. And pretty much the ending is what really got the twist out for me with this, because you just really didn't see it coming. Like you think all is good, and then like the last line is just like, it's probably not good. But I really enjoyed this book. I remember it now that I've talked about it. I remember it very well. So I would definitely recommend this book. I gave it 5 stars. Again, it's a short little novella, but very good book. So there you have Halloween Fiend by C.V. Hunt. Alright, next up is one that I believe I talked about recently in September, because that is when I read it. Racing with the Devil by Brian Smith. So this book, I also think I gave 5 stars. Might have only been 4.5. But this book was really good as well. So it's 1987, big like rocker era, leather jackets, long hair, full on everybody looking like Eddie Munson. Okay, so pretty much what goes down in this, this cover again looks really cool. Like all like the Halloween type books like just always look cool. But pretty much what's going on is we're following 4 friends who are on their way to the boonies to have like a really like awesome Halloween outing, and then suddenly this guy drives by in this car and like kind of races them, and all hell breaks loose pretty much from there. There's lots of twists. I really enjoyed how the characters were written. I thought that I think there was one part I really didn't like, and it was towards the end. It involved one of the characters. But besides that, I thought it was a really solid story, and it was just really cool and well done. It is set, well, yeah, they're going to the boonies, and it's like a Halloween party. It's a Halloween themed party, not just like a party. And it's, well, yeah, right there, big bold letters. It's Halloween night. But yeah, no, that, because one of their friends had mentioned something in school or something like that, and they're like, oh, this place probably doesn't exist. Let's just go back into town. And they're like, nah, we're going. And yeah, it's pretty solid. I really enjoyed it. So there you have it, Racing with the Devil by Brian Smith. And just because I have to, I'm going to. Here are 2 Goosebumps recommendations. We've got Attack of the Jack-O'-Lanterns, which is Goosebumps number 48. And we have The Haunted Mask, which is Goosebumps number 11. So, Haunted Mask, y'all should know those stories. Or this story. Girl gets a mask. I want to say her name's Carly Beth. Yeah, Carly Beth gets this mask. Very lifelike. Evil things happen. There is a sequel that I did read, and I was going to put in here, but I figured I should only put one Haunted Mask. This one I had just read. This was in my October TBR, which was out, depending on when this goes up, 2-3 days ago. It's on Saturday, October 1st. But you know, this one we're following a group of friends who like have had bad things happen on Halloween when they try and like. The problem I had with this one is I would start getting a little confused with following characters at times. I did this with an audiobook on YouTube, and it's like basically Siri reading you the book, and it was just kind of like irked me because it didn't sound normal. It sounded robotic. And so, otherwise, the story was great. Both set on Halloween night, of course. This one, these people are trying to prank two of their friends who have been pranking them for the past. Pranked them once really good, and then the next year something happened to where they couldn't prank them back. Then another year they couldn't prank them back. But this year, Drew and his friends are set on really getting them back. And they do in a very big way. So I'm very excited to have gotten to this because, as you guys know, I'm trying to read all original 62 Goosebumps, and I had to do this one. So, but yeah, both are set on Halloween. Another one I would mention is Haunted Mask 2, but I only want to put one of them in here. So there you have The Haunted Mask and Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns by R.L. Stine. Alright, next one up, I will say, is kind of a stretch for Halloween. It's Halloween related for me because around that time when I was younger, I always wanted to like read this book, and I read it every now and again on Halloween. And that's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by like 80 different people. So this is like a collection of just like really, really short stories that are like horrific. They're creepy. Again, this cover looks really cool. I am actually currently in the middle of reading more Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, so it is ages 9 and up, so I am eligible to read this, which is cool. So, but yeah, this book, it's got a lot of nostalgic stories in it. There is a movie based off of this that came out, I don't even know when. It doesn't feel like it's been that long ago, but it might have been like 2019 or something like that. But you know, there's lots of creepy stories in this. There's really cool like artwork drawn within the stories. So I mean, I can't really go over each individual story, but there's a chunk of them in here, and they're pretty good. So I definitely would recommend reading this around Halloween. It's spooky. Again, not really related to Halloween itself, but just something scary to read on Halloween. So there you have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Alright, next one is another one I read last October, and that is The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury. So this cover looks phenomenal. A. B. The story is very weird. It's a very out there story, in my opinion. A group of friends, it's Halloween night, and basically they're all going to go trick-or-treating, and suddenly they lose one of their friends. I think his name is Pip. And he goes missing. The friends are all trying to figure out what happened to him, where he went, and upon trying to look for him, they uncover, I gotta look at this guy's name because it's weird, Carapace Clavicle Mountrode. I definitely mispronounced that. He's like I don't want to call him like a tour guide, but he's like the guide going through all these weird places and things while they're trying to hunt for Pip. Like mummy, like they go to Egypt, they've got like space, they got all of these weird things that they go through to try and find their friend Pip. Again, it's not really that long of a story, so I will leave it at that. It's a pretty exciting book, though. I did enjoy it when I read it. And I want to say there is some artwork in the book, too, and it looks really cool. I cannot find a page with artwork on it. I can't find a page with artwork on it. But there is some artwork in here and it looks really cool. It's a very out there book and very odd. Again, it is based on Halloween night, so just, you know, obviously it's a Halloween book. It's also a classic, so a lot of people know this book, I think, maybe, I hope. But definitely a very good one that I would recommend for you. The Halloween Tree, Ray Bradbury. Alright, so next up are the 4 that I have not read, but would like to read that are more Halloween related, obviously, like I said earlier. The first 2 I'm going to talk about are on my October TBR. There's a fair chance I will get to them because on the day we were filming this, I have finished already 2 books on the TBR, so I would imagine I'll get to them. The only roadblock would be it, but that'll happen eventually. But the first one is Halloween Night, R.L. Stine. So a lot of these I don't know a whole lot about them. I know that they're Halloween based, and this is one of R.L. Stine's more popular, I would say, non-Goosebumps books by what I remember. I will read the back here for you real quick. Brenda hates her cousin Haley, or Hallie, pretty sure it's Haley, and Brenda isn't the only one because Haley keeps stealing other people's boyfriends. So Brenda and her friends decide to plan the perfect murder, something to go along with Brenda's perfect Halloween party. Not that they're really going to kill anybody. It's a joke. It's just a joke, right? Ha ha. I mean, that sounds really incredible. I have not read anything by R.L. Stine that was not Goosebumps, so this is definitely one that I want to address. Halloween Night, R.L. Stine, and that leads me to the other one that's on my TBR, and that's Autumn Crow by Cameron Chaney. This is a collection of stories following, I believe, the town of Autumn Crow Valley, where every night is Halloween. That is that's the most I really know with this for now. I am hoping to definitely get to this. It's got collections, stories in here, pretty much all just Halloween in this town of Autumn Crow Valley. So I believe he's working on a sequel too, or something like that. I don't know the title or anything. It's just I've heard rumors that it is a sequel that's possible. So definitely another one I want to get to. This cover looks stunning, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, there you have Autumn Crow by Cameron Chaney. Alright, the last 2 I'm going to talk about are not on my TBR, but it's probably a very strong possibility I will get to them. The first one is Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. Another classic. I'm wanting to not know a whole lot going into this book, other than the fact it's Halloween, and I'm going to presume that there is a lot of mischievous play at hand, and I'm going to go into it with that knowledge. I do not want to know a whole lot about this book. It's a classic. A lot of people usually like this book around this time of year for obvious reasons. Halloween. And I really want to read this, and Danielle's been pushing for me to read this too, and so I'm going to read it hopefully soon. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is a Keelan Patrick Burke Halloween collection, Dead Leaves. So I've read a lot of Keelan Patrick Burke. I have not read everything. I've read a lot. And this is, I want to say, the most Halloweenish thing that he has, obviously, because pumpkin. But I want to say it's like 9 tales from the witching season. So, sounds intriguing. Like I said, I've read a lot by Keelan Patrick Burke. One of my favorite short story writers of all time, if not the favorite I have. Sorry, Stephen King, you're not the best at everything. But I definitely really like him as an author, and I really want to get to this. So, there you have Dead Leaves by Keelan Patrick Burke. Alright, so those are 10 Halloween Day-ish area books that I'm going to recommend for you. That was definitely a sentence. If you have any recommendations, let me know in the comments down below that you did not see here, that you would recommend to me possibly. And again, we will have these linked down below, as many of them as we can, if you want to check any of them out. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys in tomorrow's episode of Zocktober. Later.